And some dwelling too. Some dwelling for sure, because the conversation was like, all right, that was great. What are we gonna do our next series? It's more like, well, how did we not get that flag in Coliseum Flag? How did we lose 107? How did we lose that sniper when we had it on rig over at Carbine side? Those were the conversations that were happening. Those aren't fun conversations to have.
No, not at all. Not at all. Starting this one off, we're gonna go with a little bit of Hunter JJX, and he's going to make his way on over towards the Rockets. It doesn't look like the same beginning strategy that BT used this time around is what they're going to be going with against Subsequent. So interesting that they switched it up here. Maybe Hunter JGX can get these Rockets. A grenade coming in. That's going to drop Naded instantly. Bachiok, he's going to drop as well. Can the rocket land in the window? No, but Rob the Turtle does have sniper rifle, so they should be able to secure this side of the map just a little bit. But a nasty grenade coming in. Nasty shots answering right back from Rob, and we all saw how nasty he was in the previous series with the sniper rifle. This guy does some serious work, but they got to translate this into something. They got to go and use this to either get the rockets out of Demon D's hands, get some map positioning, or at least advance towards the enemy base.
Yeah, that's the question I have more so is this and the Straight Rippin' series is we never saw them advance with the sniper. Sure, we're seeing Rob hit some great shots, but look at 3 of his teammates are down. He is stuck in the red rocket corner and eventually gets taken out. And right like that, BT collapsed and pulled that flag out, run snipe side. I don't see them really stopping this unless that was amazing spawn behind them in rocket corner, or sorry, snipe corner. But that does not seem to be the case. That seemed like someone spawned a back flag and was able to pick that off before they got around the snipe corner. And there's the first flag for Arctic and the VT squad.
A minute and 15 seconds is all it took to get the lead in this series. And again, great shots from Rob the Turtle, but there's not much that you can do when all 3 of your teammates are dead, and thought he could buy a little bit of time, but not enough. And one of the things to keep in mind, Dave, if he hits that shot, that's great, but maybe what if you overextend with the sniper rifle there and maybe try to snipe the flag guy as he goes out of your window? Or, what if you rotate so your teammates don't all get that forceful spawn on over towards the elbow? Yeah, VT, they were doing a great job locking down the cave, making sure nobody was getting any spawns inside of the base, but get that front of the base spawn, underneath the base spawn. Being in the elbow area is the last place that you want to get stuck.
Yeah, it's really tough. I mean, like you said, over that snipe cave is probably a much stronger position, because that's the spot that most teams are going to try to hold and forcefully run a flag if they have full control. Whereas most teams, if they're trying to just get a scrappy cap or a scrappy pull, they'll usually run toward rocket side, because you can run down low, take a little bit of cover, and force people out of stronger positions.
Nice try from D. Is it going to be enough to stop that flag? It isn't. So Subsequent there, you're going to respond only about a minute after that first flag capture goes in. So great job coming in from these guys in red, and Bachiok now currently controlling top catwalk area. This is the spot that you want to be down, but Demon D flying down with the pain onto Hunter JJX and didn't take any damage from that. So now that Bachiok gives up his position on the radar, he's going to be in a very vulnerable spot, getting double teamed, almost triple teamed right there, and that's going to be 3 dead. Hunter JJX, last guy alive. Can he get the stick or at least take this guy down to no shields? He does. Arctic waiting for his shields to come back. Thought he was going to wait a little bit longer, but KLTN with the flank coming in with the double kill, dropping claim as well. Is that enough? Naded already pulling this flag. You do have a counter pull coming in on the other end.
What a grenade.
Grenades from Rob the Turtle coming in. Rocket sniper combo coming in from Demon D. We'll find out if Hunter JJX and the rest of the squad from Subsequently stop this flag. Here comes the sniper rifle. The rocket's soon to follow. There it is. Bachiok's going to drop, and the flag capture goes in. I like that combo, that rocket sniper thing.
Yeah, that was also that grenade that just stopped, I believe it was Naded, who was trying to jump over from DMR side. Clearly they were still able to put that flag in, but those are such huge stops when you can stop it before it gets around that corner. Because in most cases, as soon as that flag around that last corner gets over near BR side, it's one of those things where you already need to be in position to stop it, or you're kind of in big trouble.
Well, and those kills add up, because now you're in a position to run this flag again. Just imagine if Demon D was still at your base with all 4 of his teammates alive and rocket sniper rifle as you're desperate trying to stop that second flag capture from going in. That should have been an easy, 3rd flag capture eventually for VT, but we're looking like Subsequent could potentially tie this one up 2-2. They get the flag touch. KLTN, he's about to put this one in, and if there ever was a, dictionary right next to back and forth game, that would be this one right here.
This would be right next to it. That is right, Tom. This is actually pretty impressive, because I was going to say, Subsequent actually kind of answered my question before. Was it Straight Rippin' playing well? Were they possibly having a bad series? Are they just not a strong objective team? And I feel like Subsequent have shown that they aren't just a bad objective team. Like, inherently, they clearly have plenty of skills at it. It's just maybe they had a bad matchup against Straight, or maybe just had a few bad game types.
Keep in mind, Dave, that they played the CTF stronger than they played the Strongholds. So maybe it just is a Plaza Strongholds problem, or maybe it's just a Strongholds problem in general. They seem to know what to do in Coliseum CTF. They are doing a good job getting the counter pulls. They are doing a good job also securing the flag captures when they do get them, because the captures that they have had, they haven't been the cleanest ones. They are tough. DMD stopped, the initial flag runner over towards top snipe for their first flag capture. They were still able to respond after that. And those are difficult things to try to overcome, especially when you're a newer team and you're also, dealing with tons of pressure coming in from a hot VT team.
Yeah, no, that's all fair points. Like, I should never just look at a 3-0 score and be like, all right, it was just a complete wash or wasn't close at all. It's like they still had some good moves against Straight Rippin before. One point I wanted to show up here, though, was a little bit of concern I have for subsequent squad. How do I say it now?
Subsequent squad?
Subsequent squad. I need to work on my alliteration and do some tongue twisters before I'm casting, I guess. But one thing I'm noticing is we noticed Bocce talk. He went back towards his base, tried to clear out that last member, which is okay. In some cases on paper it sounds all right, but they ended up having 3 or 4 members back at their base when they had 3 members dead from BT, and they did not take up all that map presence. They didn't push across the map except for a flag cap. Like, some points you just need to get greedy, charge 1 or 2 players over, get ready for the spawn kills, get ready for control of the map. You don't need 3 players to clear out 1 player out of your base.
That's the thing, is when you have sprint, when you have thrust, you can go and get to the enemy side of the map so fast. There's no excuse to not go and advance on the map, try to get that flag touch. Eventually, you did see the 3rd flag capture go in. VT taking game number 1. As we take a look at the stats, it was a 15-8 performance coming out from Demon D. The guy seems to, put it together when it comes tournament time. He's always grinding the game. Started off very slow as well. Keep in mind that this guy didn't play in the initial start of Halo 5 and now is coming together, making his name known in these Legendary Cups.
Yeah, and that's such a big deal, is starting off strong, especially when a new Halo comes out or a new game comes out. It's so much tougher to grind your way up later on, and Demon D has absolutely done that. He's just shown that he can pick up the game late, make up for it with time and effort. I remember even early Halo 3, he was one of the first people I could recall that had something like 1,000 or 3,000 custom games from just grinding, and hard work is half the battle.
Yep, it's definitely paying off here. So now we move into Truth Slayer, game number 2. I'm not really sure what to expect here coming out from VT, because when you look at how they were playing the previous Truths, they were pretty much manhandling that game, but then they allowed the GMAM squad, Olympus, to get back into that one. So obviously Slayer completely played differently, but I'm a little bit worried about, maybe a little bit too over-aggression coming in here. I would like to see them play this one methodical and being really aware of the spawns. That's one of the things I'm looking for these 2 squads to control the spawns nearly even half as well as what Straight Rippin was doing, because keep in mind, the winner of this series is going up against Straight Rippin in the grand finals, who is a heavy favorite to go and win this thing. So unless I see people going back and choking spawns on top of the base and playing very clean games in terms of trapping people inside of bases and going and collapsing in bases, I'm going to be a little bit worried from them. Someone's going to have to come out here and prove that they have the overall teamwork to just manipulate this map.
Well, yeah, there's 2 things to consider. VT, Demon D doing a good job of controlling something like Camo. However, at the same time, too, this is going to be one of the moments for Hunter JJX to shine. We've talked about before, like maybe he's not as good as other top pros when it comes to objective games and knowing where he needs to be. However, at the same time, too, he has such an incredible shot and incredible knowledge here on maps like Truth / Heretic / Midship, because of all the free-for-all times he's played here.
Yeah, and not having his best game number 1 here is an epic 1v1 happening underneath blue base. Nate's going to get the better of KLTN right there. Multiple players stuck underneath here, and guess who has the camouflage? It's going to be Demon D, who had that fantastic game number 1 on Coliseum CTF. 5-3 lead here to jump off for VT. Demon D still with a decent amount of camo, too.
I like this play.
Yeah, so the thing is a lot of players think, oh, he's going to go bottom center here. But no, he was going bottom center to top center so he could take different angles and get tons of information for his team. Now he's advanced and distract for the rest of these guys to push, and he's going to need his teammates to respond.
What a move as he jukes out the player that jumped out front to try to kill him. Such a great move from Demon D. The other thing that I really like about Demon D's play right there was he noticed that there's 3 people in red too, and with that in mind, he's basically like, well, guess what? I'm not too vulnerable out here in front of the base. Someone has to jump out front, or somebody already has to have angle from pink or car side. And there's only one possible player that can have that. And so Demon D was in good shape there, just knowing he can collapse on base when they're all spawned at the same time. But Demon D just doing a good job, moving as fast as possible, getting in a high up position. Just because you have camo doesn't mean you have to sneak around down low the entire time or sneak under the base and get behind someone.
No,
Sometimes
being underneath the base is not good.
Yeah, in most cases you can go up to one of those power positions, be a distraction, because people are going to call you out, and they're also going to say, camo top center, camo top center. You're going to be the number one focus on the map, and you can be in a safe power position if you'd like.
Ooh, the shot's landing. 100JGX is going to get the cleanup onto Claim, though. Only a 3-kill lead coming out, make that a 4-kill lead for VT, but we've seen what they can do once they start to get control, really running away with that Coliseum Slayer game in the previous series against Olympus. Demon D, he's going to work with Nated P2 to drop a player. Bocce Hawk, he's already no shields here. Camouflage should be popping up pretty soon, so Demon D, he's late to the party. Demon, you need to get on over there. Nice shots coming in from JGX, and those are the battles that you're talking about, but guess who's on top of it?
Punctual Demon D right there. He may have been late to the party, but he was starting his own party, grabbing that camo. He gets taken out though, and that is a bad situation because, like you talked about before, possibly late to the party and leaving his other teammates out to dry for a moment. He needs to make up for that with good camo use, and that did not happen.
He was looking for the sneaky play, but there was teammates dying all around him, and then they collapse immediately. And that just goes to show that Subsequent was aware that the camouflage was up, and they were looking for that player to escape in that general time frame. And that's what you got to be aware of, because it could only take so long for that camo guy to pick it up right around 9:45, and if it's still around 9:43 or 9:42, guess how many places he can really go? Not that many. So great job by Subsequent collapsing on that one. Meanwhile, they've continued to build on this lead. 4-kill lead right now for VT, and multiple players trapped over here on the car side of the base. If they can get a player top center and over towards the other base right now on VT, these guys are done for over on the car side.
Yeah, and that is a tough situation to be. I mean, you get stuck in those bubbles and you have to walk across some vulnerable areas in between Carbine and the base, and you really don't have great options to push towards bomb center because people just have so many angles across the map, specifically from pink side.
Big misplay right there, allowing Rob the Turtle to get the free shots right there. Bocce Hawk gonna get the melee kill. Now it's 21-22 in positioning, flipping it back on over to Subsequent. Bocce Hawk in a very dominant position right now, distracting tons of players from the VT side. You can see Hunter JJX getting in a battle with Nated on the side of the map. He's gonna drop Nated. Is no shield, so he's gonna have to wait for those to recharge, but you can see the spawners coming up on the other side of the map. If you don't collapse on one side fast enough, they start poking you from behind, and that's exactly what happened. You gotta get out of that top center area, you gotta filter into that base, clear those guys out, and then retake that 50-yard line.
Yeah, and Bocce Hawk's help there was incredible. It's more than just that one shot, because those one shots add up so much across the map. Like someone like JJX right now, when he fights someone over at blue 2 or red 2, if he has one shot lead on another player, he's going to win that fight 80% of the time at least. He is such a strong pistol shot, and just having the confidence that you're a shot up on your opponent, you don't have to perfect 5 them, you can just 4-shot them, he's going to win those fights.
Great shots right there on to Nated. Now the biggest lead that we've seen in this game, and it's going on over to Subsequent, still trapping people on over towards the car side of the map. Hunter JGX has great positioning right now, because you look at the player outlines, 2 of his teammates are on the other side, so they're split 2 towards red, 2 towards blue, and now Nated, last guy alive, coming off the spawn. They are going to spawn on the pink side in towards pink 1, so we'll see what Demon D is going to be able to do off that initial spawn. Give Hunter JGX that killing spree, and as you mentioned, Dave, this is the type of game that you need to see from these guys. Bocce Hawk and Hunter JGX working very well together.
Yeah, that's the second time we've seen them double, triple team players and just doing such a good job just collapsing on all these spawns right now. An 8-kill lead here. I believe it was 9 just previously for this subsequent squad. I'm going to stop saying that name. I'm just going to say from Bocce's team.
Team Subsequent. Subsequent team. Subsequent squad, definitely a little bit of a tongue twister there. Nated, can he bring them back just like they did in Coliseum Slayer? Right when they hit that 40 kill mark, that's when things went heavily in the VT's favor. Subsequent, a little bit of a different caliber of a team here. Obviously, they fought all the way to the winners bracket finals just to fall the straight ribbon. Now they find themselves down 1-0 here, but up in game number 2 in Legendary Cup number 2. Nated, he's just waiting for players to poke out, but they've dropped underneath the base. Does he realize that they're over there? Now the information's coming out, so he's sprinting. They're going to realize that he's over there as well. Now he's here on the radar, getting 1 kill onto KLTN. Another player underneath the base. That's an easy cleanup right there. Dropping and finding the double kill. That's a 5-kill lead now to make up. Still plenty of time for them to do it.
Yeah, that was a great read from Nated, realizing two members of Subsequent were dropping under that base because he had stayed alive so long in Bubble. And at some point, you have that Spidey sense in Halo. There's a couple different ones. One being there's a player behind you or something's like going just too right. So it's like, all right, there's got to be someone nearby. Someone's got to be flanking. Where are they at? The second one being that these players are making a push. They're moving on. Nated getting a step ahead. Instead of just staying stagnant, staying back at the Bubble or Carbine side, he decides to be the aggressor and push in with his teammates and collapse on the base.
100JGX loses that camo. Could that be a big backbreaker for Subsequent? That's twice we've seen Nated do some nasty things to the camo players. He did it earlier in the series, or in the previous series in Plaza. Strongholds did it right there again to 100JGX. You can see 100JGX strafing, desperately trying to keep his life. Such an important kill there for Nated to find. Demon D somehow living through that, but Rob the Turtle coming in with the cleanup. You can see 3 players, 4 players now trapped on the side of the car base. Subsequent on the ropes here, even though that they have the lead. They need to get out of here. They need to get over towards the base and maintain some sort of control.
Yeah, that can also be a scary situation, even though you have a bit of a lead like you talked about before. This map and Regret, if you all start spawning in the same base or in the same quadrant of the map, the other team can just get so many angles and get that dangerous top siren position and just pin you in. Someone has to get clutch, or someone has to hope that an opposing player makes a big mistake, and those are not the situations you want to hope for to break out of the situation. And many times when you're at a base, there's really no great answer. It's just like, all right, what's the area we can push as fast as possible? That way we have at least 2 different angles when we're fighting across the map.
Uh-oh, cue the "it's happening" gif. It could be happening again, guys. The comeback is real. VT, they're bringing it back and tying this game up 45-45. Rob the Turtle gets a big grenade kill there onto Nated. You can see the positioning right now. Demon D not afraid to sit top center. You have another player underneath the base. Arctic, he was just sitting back choking spawns. Once he realizes that, he's gonna go and he's gonna shoot that guy car 1, but now he's gonna wait for that player to be weak. Taking him down, has a flank as well. Can he get around the corner? He does. 100JGX just scrambling for his life desperately. Is one shot. I think it's happening, Dave. 49-46. VT with a ridiculous comeback. They only need one more. Rob the Turtle, he's picked up the last 2 kills for Subsequent, but they need to find 3 more before VT finds just 1.
Is this another opportunity where Subsequent had a 10-kill lead and they lose the game? That may happen for the second time here.
It could be ugly. Arctic, he's over there distracting on the car side. Everybody advancing on the other side of the map. 2 players sticking together on the car side. It's going to end with a stick onto JJX, giving him that blue hat. Game number 2, very close, but VT now leads the series and has very commanding series lead 2-0.
Yeah, VT edging them out. Now, one thing I would like Subsequent to do, if they're going back to the drawing board, reviewing these films, is you
54 assists.
54 assists? Are you kidding me? That is ridiculous. Clearly higher than 100% somehow.
108% of their kills, Dave. How did I do it?
I don't know, man. We're great at math.
That's ridiculous. Is that even possible?
But yeah, that's a testament to how many times they were cross-mapping and specifically going top center as well. Like, there's just so many times you get those angles and you just lay down just 1 or 2 shots makes the difference in so many fights. The other part I was just going to bring up, though, about this was Subsequent. If they're going back to the drawing board, reviewing some films, trying to go back to this, I would highly recommend just looking at the pivotal moments in the game and when they go through those times of mitigation mainly. They do a really good job. They sometimes get in these 8 or 10
Their
kill
retake
sprees.
strategies.
Yeah, the retake strategies are weak. I've also seen it before where there's times where people go over these films after the match is done. They're like, you know, look at the 50th kill, like 100JJX, you shouldn't have got stuck there.
It's like, what were you doing? What were you doing clamoring right there?
Yeah, what'd you do? Yeah, getting stuck by a grenade you had no idea existed.
No.
Those are
There's
the
a difference
mistakes
between watching film and actually, I guess you could say, understanding the film.
Agreed.
And
I think that's lacking.
That's one of the things is, again, when I'm watching film, one of the only things that I'm looking for, if you can watch one game and just learn something, that's amazing, right? So what I'm always looking for is like what you were talking about. I'm looking for opening strategies. I'm looking for when I'm controlling setups, when my setups are breaking, and then also retake strategies. But I'm also looking for any type of big individual mistakes, or even if it's not a mistake, it could have been something where we just weren't on the same page, where it was like, hey, I thought we were going to do this, or I thought we talked about this. Why did you go and you make that decision? And sometimes it's because, you know, miscommunication. Oh, I thought I heard this call out, or I thought that you guys wanted me to go and do this. And that's why it's so important to break it down and see exactly what happened, because it could be a handful anything, really, because it could be the other team just making a fantastic play.
Yeah, it's always, for me, been down to decision-making. You only critique decision-making. If someone has a misexecution, misses some shots, loses the individual fight, something like that,
then you just drop them.
Yeah, then you just drop. But whole point being is that's something you can't really critique. It's like, yeah, that person missed shots. Like, that's going to come with execution and comfortable, like how comfortable you're with the squad and call-outs and whatnot. But end of the day, like, that's not something that you can look at in film and say, oh, see, you should just hit those shots. Simple as that. Like, that doesn't teach you or you don't learn anything. It's more like, all right, what decision could you have made different with the knowledge that you had at the time?
Exactly, and Empire Stronghold's a very difficult game type when you're already down 2-0. We're going to find out a lot about this subsequent squad and see how much grit they actually have. Arctic, he has the camouflage. He's going to come in with that reset down towards bottom center. So both the side bases currently captured. Everybody knows it's all about that pit area. That's why that reset coming in from Arctic was so gigantic. They are currently contesting the pit. 100JJX has the overshield. He comes in, gets the reset. Now that was because VT was currently capturing that one. So now 100JJX is going to try to capture it on the subsequent side. And we'll see what's going on. And he's continuing to hold this down. He's been alive for quite some time. 2 are going to drop on the side of VT. If they can get this pit, that's the advantage that they're going to need. 3 are going to drop. Bachiok has the perfect Arctic, the last guy alive. They should know the spawns are coming up on the red platform, and they are. 100JJX, the damage has been done. They do capture the pit. Nice job by them.
Yeah, great job taking that pit. It's always such a tough one to get. And a lot of times, too, when you see 100JJX in the position he was, where he's the only one in pit, and it starts to get contested from other players jumping in, it's like, a lot of times, like, oh, shoot, like, this is going to be a time where we start trading kills, and I die, and they get the reset on the pit. But instead, 100JJX held strong, got help from Rob the Turtle and friends, and they ended up taking over that pit, so it's so huge. One other play I really wanted to highlight earlier from Arctic when he had camo outside is he did not wait for a back snack. He did not try to be too fancy as he saw that player out there. He just went straight in for a 3-shot beatdown, and that stuff works. Have the confidence when you have camo just to take those couple shots on somebody. Like, if you don't feel like it's a very good chance of getting that back smack or getting anything better, just start taking the shots. Don't let the other person see you first and get the first shot.
I was listening to what you were saying, Dave, but while you were listening, I'm not going to lie. I was thinking about forming a Halo team of all animal names.
Dude, that's how it kind of goes. Like all the times in relationships, like girlfriends asking, like, "Were you listening?" Like, totally. I couldn't agree more.
Then what did I say? Hey,
I was thinking like elephant, turtle, and
I was thinking, all right. So you got Rob the Turtle,
okay,
right? And then you have Bocce Hawk, okay. Snake Bite, right? Can we find a 4th for this squad?
Oh my God, what would the 4th be? There's got to be someone out there.
There's got to be someone. Chat, help us out, please.
Penguin used to be there.
Penguin, but he's Sub-Zero now.
Yeah, what the heck?
Oh man,
he ruined it.
He ruined it. All right, we'll get back to the game then. Triple cap in effect for VT. We'll see what's going on for them as they're trying to end this series. Native with the nice stick right there onto Bocce, or on the KLTN, excuse me. Bocce Hawk, he's going to answer with a kill onto Demon D. Make that a double kill for him, but he's going to get responded right back. Got to be careful here. This could get out of control right now if you are subsequent. You don't have much to get back into it until the next round of power-ups comes up, so you got to do something in this next minute.
Yeah, you can't just rely on the power-ups here, especially on Empire Stronghold. This one can go quick, and yeah, of course, Overshield and Camo can swing the game around. However, you can't rely on those. You need to know how to take back pit. You need to know how to either rotate to opposite bases to force some sort of distraction or some sort of separation of focus. But right now, it just feels like they're just taking away point after point right there. Rob the Turtle gets taken out in the back by Nated, but not before taking out Arctic.
Well, this is where sometimes you have that, negative self-talk that pops into your head in an Empire Strongholds game where you only have literally 2 more pushes, maybe 3 more pushes before this series goes over. And you can't have that self-talk coming. You've got to stay focused, you've got to stay determined, and you've got to make sure that you realize these first 2 games were extremely close, and this could be you up 2-0 right now. But when you think about the energy levels for VT, when they have pit, they have a side base, they have that 2-0 series lead, and they're up 76. That's why Empire Strongholds is one of the most difficult game number 3s when you're down 2-0 in this series, because the retakes are just so difficult sometimes.
Yep, and the panic starts to set here. 100JJX doing a great job getting this overshield, but that gets burned instantly by Nated and his noob combo as he takes him out. Right now, they're going to this desperate pit play, but KLTN getting taken out, and almost certainly this camo player, Rob the Turtle, is going to be taken out. But actually, Rob luckily runs away. I'm surprised that they did not hunt him down.
They captured both side bases, but it's going to be answered right back as Red's currently being captured by BT. And that's just one of those things where desperation did start to set in, and Nated really clutching it with that green gun, because you can imagine 100 JJX with full overshield, Rob the Turtle with a full camouflage, or recently picked up camouflage, excuse me. They should be able to do some work in that instance, but instead, Nated responds right back. He pretty much completely, ooh, nasty ground pound right there. I mean, that's pretty much all she wrote, and that's kind of how the series goes, right? When things aren't going your way, you end up getting stuck for that 50th kill. You're down, ready to get some sort of momentum in this game desperately when you need it. You get green gun from Nated from the side, and that's pretty much all she wrote. The final now going into the subsequent coffin. BT going to take this series 3-0 and move on to the grand finals.
Yeah, Subsequent doing a great showing today overall with their placing, taking 3rd place and having some great games. However, at the same time, too, they have to go back to the drawing board when it comes to retake strategies. It's been most clearly shown when it comes to these objective games. However, when it comes to a couple Slayer games, we saw on 2 separate occasions here against VT and once against Straight Rippin', where they're up by about 10 kills in the later part of the game and end up losing.
And also, Strongholds doesn't seem to be their strong suit, because 100-7 in Plaza, 100-11 here. Again, the circumstance is a little bit different based on obviously being down 2-0 in the series. Also, just not able to get any footing throughout that entire game. Got to give credit, though, to VT. They had a phenomenal series overall, looking at Claim 14-8, also with the most Strongholds captured, so strong objective game coming in from him. And then they're rubbing it in towards the end, a little bit of by disrespect, and that's what you kind of get to see after a 3-0.
That's true. That's true. Sometimes it is warranted. It also depends on the state of these players too. I know Am Circuit, a lot of times people can butt heads, and there can be a lot of different random drama going on in certain cases. But sometimes it kind of like hate breeds hate sort of thing in that situation, and people are they're gonna remember that from Legendary Cup to Legendary Cup. And I'm sure a player like KLTN or whomever was getting by disrespected there towards the end is going to remember that and going to use that as motivation over these next couple weeks to practice more and get better.
Fuel that fire, man. Fuel that fire. As we take a look at some of these clips, they are going to be from the winning team. That was the final stick right there.
That was
the end of that game.
Camo bot, like 3-shot melee that I was talking about before. That was so proud of Arctic, because I was like, you know what? We've seen a couple other camo botches before where a player just like waits for too much or gets hit first, and it's like, no, be the aggressor. Take the first shot.
You gotta. That's what the camouflage is, right? It's an advantage, and if you're not taking your advantage and you're turtling back and playing a little bit of passive Halo, then typically the aggressors get rewarded for that type of play, and that's what we saw in the previous series to start the day with Straight Rippin' being extremely aggressive. We saw it right there from VT, and now these two teams facing off in the grand finals.
That's true. So we're gonna have to see what VT